When you talk about militias in America, you have to start hundreds of years ago. Although back then, militias were a lot different than the ones we're seeing today.
Well-regulated militias were actually quite important to the founders. They believed they were a bulwark against tyranny, and they were worried that the big, strong, new central government might crush these state military forces.
So what they did is they said, we will have a militia. All able-bodied residents between certain ages are available to be called forth by the government in defense of the state. And once called forth, they answer to the government, they're trained by the government, they're directed and regulated by the government.
The federal government was requiring everyone to be in the militia, but the states started to try to get around it in the early 19th century because it was so unpopular. So they created laws that said there is an organized militia and an unorganized militia. And anybody who wants to participate in the militia actively will be part of the organized militia. That later became the National Guard.
This new arrangement, titled the Militia Act, will also be referred to as the Dick Law, after its sponsor, U.S. Senator Charles Dick of Ohio.
Yes, the Dick Law made a clear separation between organized and unorganized militias. And furthermore, none of you are even paying attention right now, are you? You're just thinking about Dick Law. You're sitting there giggling, thinking about Dick Law, huh? You're so immature. I'm trying to give you information, and now you're probably imagining it as a new Law and Order spinoff. Go ahead then, take your time. Haha, Dick Law. In fact, I'll show you a logo for the show, if this will move things along, okay? You happy now? Den. The point I was trying to make is, like freedom of speech and trash-ass weaves, militias go back to the very beginning of America. Early America needed everyone to be ready to defend it at a moment's notice. You know, it was a different world with different needs. I mean, hell, Canada was a threat to America back then, which is wild. It's like finding out Mr. Rogers used to be a cage fighter. Whew, things have changed. But in today's age, militias are a lot like wiping your ass with leaves. They used to be all we had, but with all the progress society has made, if you're still doing that shit, you're probably a little crazy. And in fact, once militias were folded into the National Guard, unofficial militias sort of disappeared from America. Well, at least for a while. But in recent years, they started to re-emerge in a much different and disturbing form.
Armed paramilitary groups first got traction in the early 90s with high-profile clashes in Ruby Ridge, Idaho and Waco, Texas. Their numbers dropped after the Oklahoma City bombing, but they've been on the rise since President Obama took office.
It is in part a reaction to the election of America's first black president.
These groups start to expand very rapidly, I think largely in response to the idea that the United States is becoming less white.
Well, you don't like blacks. You're racist and everything like that because he's a black president. No, I don't care what color he is. There's something not right about him.
Militias grew nearly 800% during Obama's presidency as conspiracy theories, exaggerations, and rumors surfaced online and in the far-right media.
They're going to take your guns under the ruse of preventing war.
There were fears that he'd try to stay in office indefinitely, that he was a socialist and a Muslim. Even one wild rumor that he was going to invade Texas.
Wow. Militias exploded once Obama became president? Well. We meet again, racism. I've been expecting you. It's almost like Obama became president and then the entire country locked its doors. And looking back on it, it's so funny that these guys thought Obama was going to try and stay president forever and invade Texas? Because as soon as he could, Obama was out, winning Oscars and kite surfing with Richard Branson. So long, bitches.